Benoit, good morning to you and welcome. One piece of research I was looking at in preparation for our discussion, no single water problem that we have in this country. It's a lot of little problems, but it's presented as one problem. Surely we've got to start understanding the little problems before we can approach it.
Agreed. We need to, and I call that the perfect storm brewing. And it's far larger than the energy crisis. And to put it right takes decades to put the infrastructure right. So we have to start indeed. And the devil's in the detail, absolutely.
All right, we talk about get infrastructure right. As a layman, what do we need to get right? I mean, when I think infrastructure, I think pipes, but it's a lot more than that.
Yes, so we're very dam focused, and we dammed up in South Africa. So there's no new dams really planned for South Africa. They are in Lesotho, but we know what the situation is there. It's fairly dry at the moment. So we dammed out. So what we need to do is to think alternatives. So we can use the term renewable water, like we say renewable energy. So water is infinitely renewable. It's in the air, it's in the ocean and the likes. And we must stop focusing, I think, on groundwater and surface water. For two reasons. One is it's fully allocated, and we are water scarce. And also the other reason is that it's, with climate change, the temperatures are increasing, so storing water on the surface just increases the losses through evaporation. And we're increasing at double the rate of the average temperature in the world. So we need to look at storing water underground, for example. We need to stop wasting water. We are wasting 37 to 41% of the water. And that's not at household level. That's between the bulk provider to the household. So it's in the conveyance system, the pipes, the reticulation. So it's a wholesale and retail problem. It's not a consumer problem. That's 37 to 41%. That alone can provide water to 7 to 8 million people per annum. So we call it unaccounted for water. Most of it is leaks. There's some theft. And then there's some accounting errors.
So who takes the lead on this thing?
So that falls under COCTA. It's a local government issue. And the issue, I think, is it's not being driven at the moment because
so is it a competency issue or a capacity issue?
It's both, and it's a lack of governance where we have an immature regulatory environment. So we need to increase the regulatory environment, unfortunately, to ensure that we have the quality and quantity. And prices are not regulated in South Africa either. So prices tend to drive behavior also, as we saw in day zero in Cape Town. So it's a big stick, but we need to use the carrot also.
Some conventional wisdom would suggest that we've left all this too late. We're now fast approaching day zero for many towns, and we've seen evidence of that already.
It's not too late. It's late in the day. It's not too late. We have to start. And, the coastal cities that have been suffering to a great extent, it's unnecessary. There's sea water there. We have renewable water. The desalination technology is widely available.
But it's expensive.
It's not. It's getting to parity globally. So in South Africa, we need to get our jacks into gear to get it down to very much the same as surface water. The difference is we decouple ourselves from climate change, from inadequate rain or too much rain in the wrong places. But what it does, if you free up the traditional surface and groundwater from inland to the coast, you free it up for inland, and the coastal cities can decouple themselves virtually completely from the current sources.
What's the doomsday scenario here if we continue along the path that we are heading at the moment?
I think the lack of investment in South Africa is predominantly because there's an uncertainty around water and energy and labour. But without water we can do nothing. Energy, there are replacements. So it's a fundamental economic enabler. We need to have certainty in our water future, and it takes several decades to do that. I believe the master plan is going to be released very soon. The National Planning Commission is busy working at the moment and concluding its work from a water resilience perspective that sits on top of the master plan. And we're driving very hard as a think tank that we're able as business to invest in the R1 trillion that's required over the next 10 years to start instilling water resilience.
We've both read the article on the Conversation website, and I want to end with this. It says what is clear is that South Africa is not yet confronting an absolute water shortage. You've just mentioned that, but, and here's what I want an answer to, the extent of public panic suggests a disturbing level of ignorance. There is a degree of public panic. I count myself among them. I'm more conscientized about this than perhaps I was a year ago.
I think we need to increase the awareness. But I don't think we need to panic, because panic, we start pointing fingers and throwing stones and the likes. But we need to increase awareness, and through the media is one way of doing it. I think through local government we need to increase awareness like it was done in the Western Cape before the taps run dry.
And we can't say for certain when that's going to happen. But if we intervene now, it won't.
I think we're able to intervene now if we raise the narrative as a primary, as important as the investment summit. We will overcome it.
Thank you very much for joining us. Benoit Leroy from the Water Shortage South Africa Organisation. He's the Chief Executive Officer. And all of that is ahead, as I say, of a special focus come Monday here on the channel, where we're going to devote an entire day to looking at the water crisis, the water challenges that exist in this problem. Reporters fanning out right across the country, and a number of special reports and guests. Starts 6 o'clock on Monday morning here on ENCA.